Welcome to a new puzzle. Today's puzzle is this one. It is titled Nothing. It is titled, Have You Got Eyes in the Back of Your Head? What can Tarzan see? Not fully sure where Tarzan is, but anyway, I've done the edge and then I'm gonna do the rest. Oh, hold on. You don't fully see everything. Am I gonna chop my head off? Very potentially. Very potentially. All right. Can you see all that in there? Yeah, I think so. Okay, where do we start? I'm thinking. I don't know. Red, it seems. Because the red color stands out, you know? So we're starting with the red. Okay, so how have you been lately? I have been warm and dry, which is why I'm drinking. Not alcohol. God, I haven't been drinking alcohol in a while now. We are, I don't know if anyone said it like officially, but I feel it's kind of official. I don't know if it's been said officially, but I feel it should be official that we are in a drought. During the past 5.5 weeks now. 5.5? Oh my lord, time is flying. It's been dry. The only rain we have gotten has been 13 millimeters over the last 5.5 weeks. And those 13 millimeters happened closing in on 3 weeks now since we had that happen. So it is dry. It is very, very, very dry. And I have not been good at watering, and my garden is not happy. My garden is sad. My garden is way sadder than a garden should be. I mean, I have a big oak tree, and heck, even my big oak tree, and that it has a pretty good size in my opinion. It's dry. Its leaves are hanging down to the point where that tree, that old oak tree, is sad. And when you have such a big tree being so sad, I mean, it's dropping green leaves, and I assume it's to try to, stay alive. So with my big oak tree dropping green leaves, and the leaves that it's currently keeping on to, they're not like nice and fluffy and kind of happy. They're sad. They're really sad. Leaves on a tree like that should not be that sad. That is scary. Because them being that incredibly dry, I mean, it's bad. And also, I'm not very good at watering. I really should be better at that, but apparently I'm not. So that's another challenge for the things that I'm trying to grow. They're also sad. And the other day, I did actually water a little. Kind of totally wrong time of the day, so I didn't fry, the sun fried. Yeah, I could try to blame someone else, but let's be honest. Totally my own fault. I watered my squash and my pumpkin, and I've never grown either of those before, so it is an experiment, but still, watering them, even though it was cloudy, it was during the day, and I watered them. I realized the day after that I should not have done that because they fried a little. They still have some good leaves, but man, that went quick, that frying. Way quicker than I thought it would, but also I didn't quite think about it because I didn't realize how much the sun was kind of working even though it was cloudy. So that is unfortunate. So there is a challenge with my growing, with what I'm trying to grow. I want to say what I am growing, but right now it seems like what I'm trying to grow is a better word for it because, as I just said, I have not been good at watering, and I feel really sorry for my garden. And it's all my fault. Not really, but I mean, the not watering, totally my fault, obviously. But the rain not coming, I do not take responsibility for the no rain. I am not in charge of the weather. If I had been, I would have rained weeks ago. And then again, and again, and again, and my garden is struggling. I'm very worried about it. It makes me sad to see how much it's struggling because it's bad. It's really bad. In other and better news, I went to visit my parents last week. It was my dad's birthday and my mom's birthday is coming up. And, it's nice to see my parents. And also I had some shopping to do. So it's also nice to be able to combine those things. I go to my parents and I feel like I'm in a hotel, to be honest. My bed is made when I come. I don't have to cook. Or I did help a little with the cooking because, as I said, there were birthdays to be celebrated. So I got to participate a little bit in helping out when it came to the cooking. So that was nice. Peeled some carrots, cut some, what do you call it in English? Rutabaga. And cut some chicken. It was really good. My mom is an excellent cook. I do love her cooking. And I've been loving on her cooking for a long time. But yeah, so that was so nice. And that meant going to see parents was super nice, but also that meant some shopping for me. So I actually got some shopping done. And I have changed As in, I used to enjoy going shopping, and now I'm like, I'm not saying that I couldn't think of a worse thing to do, but I would like to not have to go shopping. That would be great. Shopping is not my thing anymore. So I'm very happy whenever I don't have to go shopping. And technically I didn't have to go shopping, but there were things that I was starting to need. So it was, in that sense, it was nice to go shopping, to basically get it done. And that's mostly what I've been doing lately. I've been worrying about my garden. I have not been watering enough. I've been warm. I mean, humans are not supposed to melt. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, but humans are not supposed to melt. And I've been feeling like I've been melting for the last little bit because it's been so warm. It has cooled off a little bit now, but with still no rain, that just, yeah. I mean, I do believe it helps the veggies and all, and the trees and the bushes and everything that wants to, not that it doesn't want to be okay. It isn't okay because it is so dry. It's insane. I would definitely call it a drought. We are currently on water restrictions. So even if I wanted and managed to make myself water, I can't. I'm not allowed to. Oh, I mean, technically I can if I just, break the rules. But I'm not that much of a rule breaker. There are rules in place, and also those rules, the water restrictions, are there for a reason. So I would like to not break those rules. And since I know they're there for a reason, they're not just gonna put out water restriction just because. There is a reason, and that is that it's not raining, and that could go bad. And they want to make sure that it doesn't go bad, so not to prevent it going bad, but to make sure that things will be okay, they do their best to keep that up. So just because I don't always agree with all the rules and necessarily follow all the rules, when it comes to water restrictions, I'm thinking that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know if the news have reached everyone, and also why would it? But just a few days ago, we had a pretty severe fire. Not where I live, it was several towns away from me, but there was a pretty severe fire where more than 100 people, or where more than 100 houses burned down. And that was, sure, the houses, or some of them at least, are older, and they're built in a way so the fire trucks had a hard time getting there. But also how the things, like how close the houses were together and how dry it is everywhere at the moment. It's just, it was kind of like a nightmare waiting to happen, and then it actually happened, which it doesn't usually happen, thankfully, but it did this time. And it was insane. It looked horrible in pictures because it was so bad. And keeping up with the water restrictions and not breaking them. I'm not saying that's going to help, but I certainly don't think that would hurt to pay attention to such things. And, follow the rules when it comes to like when you're not allowed to burn stuff. So, yeah. But I looked at the news about that fire, and it was like, oh my Lord, I'm glad I wasn't there. But then I started thinking, okay, so what would I do if it happened here where I live? And the answer is I have no idea. That's not something I've ever thought about. But now I'm thinking maybe I should think about it, because that fire that they had, I mean, when it's as dry as it is now, fires spread, and they spread quickly. It's like crazy quick how fires like that spread. And first of all, I don't want to be part of such a problem. That's one thing, but also, like, what can I do to prevent such thing? And if such thing were to happen, what would I do? I think that's also, apparently smart to think about. Have an idea. It's like, what do you grab if one guy went in for his snake, went back to the house to grab his snake? Like, okay, but a lot of people like, well, what do you grab? If you could grab like 3 items, what would you grab? What would you need? I don't know, but I've been thinking about that. And I've come to realize I wear contact lenses, and my glasses, I have glasses, but I usually wear contact lenses because I prefer it. But in such a case where I need to grab something, I would have grabbed my glasses to make sure I could still, see, do stuff. And I would have grabbed my purse, because in my purse, usually my wallet, my keys, though if your house burned down, what do you need your keys for? But my wallet, my keys, my phone, like the essential stuff like that. A lot of people try to like grab pictures, and I get that, because that's something that you can't easily get back. At the same time, like you can't grab everything. Something's gotta go, and like sentimental value things, I guess. But most things you can buy, which is why I would have grabbed my my purse, so I could have grabbed my so I had my my wallet where my card is, so I can buy stuff, because you can buy just about anything, but still, it must be such a horrible feeling, and I don't think I wish that upon anyone. So yeah, the last few days I've been watching the news and, what can I say, feeling sorry for the people who had their houses burned down, because there was a lot of people. It was a lot of houses. But also, like, it is so dry. Like, there is nothing we can do about the weather. And I know a bunch of people like, oh, climate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I know there is a climate. There's always been a climate. There will always be a climate. And if there's not a climate anymore, that means we're all gone. And I don't like that thought. So we're going with the climate is what it is. We can't change it individually per se, but I think we should all do what we can to not make it worse. Humanity has a tendency to F things up quite a lot sometimes. I'd be like, okay, we can't necessarily fix everything, but can we at least try to not make it worse? I think that's a good start. Do what we can. Like, don't, and I was just talking about like, oh, I went shopping and I've got a lot of stuff. Stuff that I needed, mind you. Not just because, oh, I want to go shopping. If I didn't have to go shopping, I would definitely not. But sometimes, you wear clothes out. I had 2 jeans in a row having a hole in their butts. Actually, one with a hole in the butt and one with a hole on the knee. And I don't really like that, so I needed some new clothes. Because, I would like my clothes to be without holes. Unless there is a t-shirt that needs to have a hole for the head, for instance, because that's how it's supposed to be. But I don't want clothes. Oh, wait. I don't want holes in my clothes that are not supposed to be there. And, I had a few clothes like that lately. So I needed a few things, so I got that. I'm not buying more than necessary, because that is kind of like a simple thing we can all do. Don't buy more stuff than necessary. And some are like, oh, but we're a capitalist society, at least a lot of us. It's like, we need to keep shopping to keep the businesses going. That is potentially true. I don't know that much about those things, but still, like, do you really need a bazillion things? I would go with probably not. Probably not. But that's not to say that you should stop buying things you need. You obviously should buy things you need. Just make sure it's on mostly a need basis, not just a want basis. At the same time, you shouldn't stop buying things just because you don't need them. Sometimes we all need a little bit of wants in our lives, as in, I want this and I will have it. So of course we all sometimes buy things because we want it, not necessarily need it, but try to be mindful, I guess. Be mindful about what you buy and how much you buy, but also don't take that to the extreme, because that will be no fun. What is this? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying. I try to be mindful of my spending because, well, I don't currently have a job, so that's a thing. I still have some health challenges that needs to be figured out. That is taking a lot longer than I would like, and I don't know what to do about it. But that means I don't currently have a job, which means I don't currently have a regular income in such a way from a job. So that's not a reason for me, at least, to be mindful of my spending. Very, very good reason, in my opinion, to be mindful of that. But also, I have most of what I need. I managed to cut my shopping list in half. As in by getting half the things on my list. So there's still a lot on my list that I need. Some of the things I know I don't need technically at the moment, but I know I will need it in the future, and not necessarily the most distant future. And since I do struggle both to Well, I don't struggle to get to the store, but the stores are not close to where I live. So for me to get to the stores where I can buy stuff, I tend to do that when I visit my parents. It makes it easier for me. And I don't go visit my parents that often. A part of me totally wishes that I went to visit them more, but I also have a lot of stuff to do in my house. So that's, a combination of all the things. Where was I going with that? I don't know. Point is, I don't do a ton of shopping, but I do have some shopping done. So what I mean to say is, I have a long shopping list, but it doesn't mean I'll get everything right away, because I've become very specific about my wants. So I'm not just gonna buy something because it's on my list if it's not exactly what I want. Then I'll wait. Which is also probably why my list is long. Because I'm not kind of desperate to get whatever's on it. At least not all of the things right away. Some of the things I were quite desperate about. It's been so warm and I have not had sandals. I had to toss the sandals I had a few years ago because they were literally crumbling into pieces. They were literally falling apart. So I tossed those, and then all of a sudden I didn't have sandals, and I haven't had sandals for several years, and with the heat that has been, I've been wearing sneakers in 30 degrees Celsius heat, and it was super dry. So I just nope, not doing that. Need sandals. So, and that has been on my list for a while, a few years to be honest. So, stuff like that, get what you need, but also don't overdo it. That might be related to me not enjoying shopping as much anymore. I used to, but yeah, I think I'm over it. Maybe I out-shopped myself. I don't know. Either way, the main point is to not get too much and be mindful, and also what do you need all the stuff for? I sometimes see people go shopping and I was just like, what do you need all that for? You don't need all that. And they're like, oh, I do, but why? Don't you have stuff? And I don't know. It's just differences between people, I guess. So yeah, I haven't done a ton lately. Except occasionally water way less than I should. That part is not occasional, but I'm definitely watering way less than I should. I visited my parents because it was their birthdays. And I've simply just been warm. And when I'm too warm, I don't function well and I don't really do much. And also I had a little setback with health where I just went and I couldn't do anything because my body was so depleted of energy. I did not function. And that's unfortunate. Because when the body don't function, you can't do much, no matter how much you want to. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but it happened. I don't know how to live with it. So I wish we could fix it, but one thing at a time. Right now it's just warm, it's summer, and I'm hoping that the rain comes soon so I can, not worry about my trees dying and everything just like collapsing from lack of water, because that would not be good. That would be bad. That'd be really bad, and it's kind of getting close to it. Which, yeah, no, not cool. Not cool. But I'm gonna continue to keep my fingers crossed that the rain will come. Preferably soon. Preferably very soon. And then just like hope for the best. Both when it comes to rain and shopping and water and all the things that I need to get done on my property, which is a lot. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed I hope you have enjoyed your life lately, and that honestly, I hope that you have a little bit more than more of rain than we've had lately, because it's too little. It's too little. One should not have this little rain for such a long time. That equals drought, which is not good for any animals or plants and trees and all that and whatnot. So I hope you have had a little bit more rain than we have here, but also not too much, obviously, because that would also be too bad. So, with all that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!